Good morning, world. I've noticed a thing lately while scrolling the internet and stuff. Seems to be a lot of people are expressing emotions on the internet. This is amazing. This is great. This is phenomenal. Um, uh, I do believe it was the system's intention for that to happen. They want to try to gain loosh from us by feeding us all a bunch of negativity and causing us all to dwell on that and as individuals and cause us to give up our energy to the system and they're using your screen right there. They're using that to suck that loosh into the system and extract it from you, and so they can feed or whatever they're doing with it. Um, all the dark, negative thoughts and energies that are swimming around on the internet and everything. But what they did not take into account, I'll bet, is the fact that we're all agreeing on stuff. We're all coming together to heal, aren't we? The collective is all coming together and talking about light and talking about the future and goodness and pulling away from the system and all that stuff. And this is amazing. They didn't take that into consideration, I don't think. Um, I am seeing that this is the first time in our recorded history as a species that we're actively overcoming the trauma of the Tower of Babel incident. Um, it has always been my opinion ever since, the concept of that whole Tower of Babel incident really kind of settled into my brain, and uh, it was really a kind of a sad moment for me because that's when I realized that if that incident had never happened, we all would still be speaking the same language, wouldn't we? We would, and we'd be getting along, and we'd be not warring against each other, and we'd be working together to achieve, to further the species and everything, and achieve, the going out into space and further exploring, life and everything, and instead of struggling every day, instead of uh, being stressed every day, like the system wants us and everything. And this is amazing. This is great. I think that the most important thing that we as human beings can be doing right now is speaking to each other, sharing our truth, right? At some point, the collective is all going to come to a consensus, and we're going to the path will be laid out before us, and which way we need to go, and everything. And I believe at some point, the entire globe is going to come together under one banner. The peasants, the debt slaves, the worker class, all the people struggling are all going to come together under one banner, and we could potentially wind up taking down the big wigs, the elite, the narcissist, the system. We can create a new system. We can create systems of light that function alongside the system that exists, that will draw energy from that system. And I believe that we as a collective need to get rich, don't we? It's our responsibility, I think, to be able to have the ability to create better systems that work for the benefit of humanity instead of extracting from humanity. Right? Right. That's where we're going. That's the way we're going. I can see that. That's the one path that's happening right now. The other path that's happening right now is, more subjugation and control. And if all the stuff in the files is true, at some point, humanity is going to cease to exist as we know it, because the elite narcissists that run the world are actively creating a whole other worker class of humans via genetically engineering them and that means that humanity as we have known it for a long, long, long time is disappearing. It's just going to vanish. Poof, be gone, bye, you know. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think people, the collective is waking up, whatever that means, the collective. The people that can see the manipulation for what it is, and the people that can share those thoughts and ideas to other people that really can't see it, but they kind of know. We need to give our buddies a little nudge and say, "Hey, look at this fucked up shit here." Okay, that's what we collective need to be doing, I think. Also, getting on the horn on this platform, on this other platform, on all the platforms, and sharing our truth. Okay, this is an age of truth. All the lies and manipulations are coming to the surface and coming to light. And, yeah, what do we do about that? We just need to get on the, continue speaking to each other and talking with each other and sharing our truth. Okay? The more that human beings do this globally, the more we're all going to at some point come together to an agreement on what the future ought to be, and the more that we can forge our own path to go do that, right? To make that happen, for the goodness of mankind, instead of the subjugation of mankind, right? Right. The suffering needs to stop. At some point it will. I think that we are, as a species, actively right now overcoming the trauma of the Tower of Babel incident. What did God do? God saw we were all working together, to further ourselves. And he was like, "No, you can't do that. That's my job." And destroyed the tower and confused our language and caused us to not understand each other. And then he scattered us across the globe. And we've been at war ever since, haven't we? I can see that coming full circle right around back to that event, so that we as a collective can heal that event and move forward. And yeah, all we have to do is shine and keep telling our truth and keep talking with each other about truth. And that's it. We're doing it. Great job, guys. Keep at it.